Hey guys, this is Chad at Pristine Auto Detailing here, working on a brand new F-150. Came in for ceramic coating. Typically when these come in for the ceramic coatings, we have to do a light, even the brand new ones, we have to do a light compound and polish. It's nothing new. This one has some light water spots and micro scratching and this and that. Generally when we do the paint correction, we'll have a few compounding pads and a few polishing pads to do the two-step process. But on this one and a few previously, I've just been getting away with using one compounding pad and one finishing pad. I was at SEMA this year and I was watching the guys use the wash bucket to clean the pads. I don't know if the guy just wasn't good at demonstrations or what, but when he pulled it back out of the bucket, it was still kind of wet, pretty wet. And it still had a lot of residue left on it. I wasn't really impressed. I'm sure he just maybe wasn't doing it right. But for me, financially, I try to find other methods first before I spend over $100 for a bucket to wash your pad. For the guys that use them, hey, they're probably great. That guy probably just didn't know what he was doing. But recently I've been using just a standard bucket, fill it up with lukewarm water, and washing my pads that way as I go. Usually after a few passes I'll clean my pad out, whether it's the compounding or polishing pad. If you're using like a heavy grit compound, something real heavy, you might want to use two different buckets so you don't get like cross-contamination. But I'm just doing a light diminishing compound in the M205 on this, so I've just been using one bucket, and I'll switch it like 2 or 3 times during the process. Because the water gets cold and it doesn't seem to clean as well. So yeah, I usually once the pad's all nasty and built up, I'll just rip it off, take it in the bucket. Now some guys don't like to get their pads real wet. I don't let it soak in there, but it does get wet, and I haven't had any problems with Velcro or the pads flying off and hitting people and this and that. I've been doing this for a while now and it seems to work really well. If I don't do it this way and I just start swapping out pads, if I have 4 or 5 pads, I'll swap them out. By the time I'm done detailing the truck or the next day, all the compound or polish hardens up and it's a pain to get off, and I usually end up just throwing them out. So in the long run, I think this benefits me a little bit better just using one pad so I don't waste as many pads. And yeah, so far it's been working really well. So yeah, rip it off, just take it in the bucket. I don't know if you can see or not, and just wring it out with your thumbs. Just clean out the pad and take it off and squeeze it. I haven't had any problems with like squeezing the pads out. On these particular pads I haven't had any issues. Maybe with other pads they might be a little bit more finicky. Just put it back on the machine. Usually set it at the lowest setting, because if you do start it at a high setting, it could possibly fly off. Turn it on 1 and just stick your machine down in the bucket and let the water sling out. Let the water sling out. Before I started using the bucket, I would just put it like this and let it fly on the ground, but that can even make a mess. So the bucket, everything stays contained. And I'm sure a lot of guys do it this way. It took me 15 years to learn this. So I've been doing it this way for a few months now, and it seems to work the best. And yeah, I haven't had anything fly off or any issues with it so far. So test it out, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure a bunch of you already do it like this. But yeah, anyway, have a good one, guys.